Today we're doing the handover of the Bailey Pegasus GT65 Rimini. We're going to start at the electrics. We've got a battery connected, so positive to positive, negative to negative. This will take up to about 110 amp leisure battery. We've got a 12 volt output, so you could use a cigarette lighter onto that one. Next one here is the key switch for the motor mover, so there is a little key switch that will plug into that and then turn the motor mover on and off. We will probably show you that on actual collection, just so that you're all okay with the motor mover, so when you get home you know exactly what you're doing. So 240 or 230 just plugs in as usual. There is a little pocket there for the cable to come through, so when you get onto site that can be locked up and secured. External 240 or 230 socket again. Flap there covers that one up. Got storage at the front, nice handy storage lockers, plenty of room. There's already a few bits and pieces in there, the winding handles in that one. There's a few other pieces, so again plenty of storage. There is one on the other side which we'll show you in a second as well. Barbecue point, so this comes off the main gas system. It's a bullfinch connector, which is sort of a red unit that pushes in and then twists down. Gas pipe just goes onto the end Jubilee clip straight onto a barbecue. 13 pin electric, so if your car is set up for 7 pin, make sure you've got a converter back to up to 13 pin. It's got the Alco AKS stabiliser. It has also got the Alco ATC, which when we hitch up and we're connecting, we need to make sure that we've got the green light on the ATC. You'll normally hear it make a bit of a noise and just run through its cycle with the ATC, but we just make sure that that is actually green. If it goes to red, just disconnect, leave it 30 seconds, reconnect. If it continues to go to red, there is an issue and you need to ring us. It's very unlikely that they do go wrong. It's very unlikely that they do go wrong, so it's normally just a case, if it has gone red, disconnect, 30 seconds, reconnect, and it should go back through the process and go green. Storage locker on the side, so again plenty of storage. There is a mains kit in this one, so you can plug straight onto a hose. The only thing that I would say with the mains kits is make sure that they have got a pressure reducing valve on, which I can't see that this actually has. The only problem with running straight off the mains is you're running through the tap pressure. We should really only be running at the pressure of the Acrol or the water pump that's going to supply the van. So just bear in mind that if you are going to run off mains pressure, you could end up with leaks on the water pipes inside if you don't regulate the pressure from the tap. You can turn it down just by using a tap. Ideally we like to see a ballcock valve into the side of the Acrol, and that will just keep topping the Acrol up, and you'd use your pump as normal then. Onto the gas bottles. So this is set up for propane. Again, remember it's a opposite thread when you come to connect the bottles on. If you do use blue bottles, you can change the little pigtail here for a butane. We have got a gas video on our YouTube channel, so we'll put a link into the description of this one in case you need to swap that over. Little spanner to connect the bottle, and again remember, as I say, it's opposite thread when you come to tighten the valve onto the bottle. Water, so water pump, this will be in the sink of the Caravan, so when you come to set up, we'll have left it in the sink. If you've moved it, just remember where you put that. It is literally plugged straight into the side. The little cap just locks that on and holds that into place. Got the flue for the well boiler. Now there's no winter covers or anything like that. It is just as it is there. We have also just got an exhaust here, which again, caution, heater flue below, do not obstruct, so make sure that don't put anything in the way of that. Our waste water pipes, which don't confuse that with the waste water pipes, are the 2 grey pipes just here, and that will do all of your waste water from the shower, the sinks, etc. We've then got the cassette toilet. So to remove the cassette toilet, it's literally handle up and that just pulls straight out. The actual cassette, which will be similar to the older types of cassettes, where you've got the little bleed valve on there, the little air valve, so when you turn this and empty it, hold down the air valve and that will release. If you want to put chemicals in, a little bit of blue, or clean it out, you can just open it with the catch here. Just make sure when you come to put that back in, that's closed off, otherwise it's not going to go in. And again, make sure that the actual toilet inside is closed, so we're in the closed position, otherwise again this won't come out, and if you force it you might break it. Again, this will then just slide straight back in. Flush water is in this one, so watering can and a little bit of pink chemical into the flush. That will just top the system back up. Then we have got a drain valve or a drain pipe on here for during the winter, so we just pop the little bung out here. This will drain off. You do need to just make sure that the water is not going to come back into the Caravan, so on the last little dribs, if you just put a little margarine bowl, and that will catch the last little bits of any water then. Again, it's nice just to have probably a little towel in there just to catch anything as well, just make sure we don't get anything back into the van at all. So moving on to the inside of the Caravan, after the storage locker here, so we've got an underbed storage locker. It has got a wet tray, so muddy boots, things like that. Again, you can get awnings if they're of the right size into there, and again then that just good push and that closes back up. Onto the inside of the Caravan, we've got the door fly screen, we've got the holder for the remote for the motor mover here, and we've got the little key switch again for the motor mover. As I said, we'll actually probably show you this when you collect the van from us, and we'll just run through the mover just to make sure that you're okay with that. But at the moment I'll leave those there. So this is our main control panel for usability of the van. We've got our main master switch on and off. We'll put that on and our little whale display panel comes up. This will tell us what voltage we've got coming off the charger, or if we've not got the 230 volt plugged in, that will give us a reading of what the actual battery is as well. We've got a room temperature and also a water temperature. Next one up, we've got the awning light, so that will just put the awning light on and off. All of the lights then will have individual switches around the van, so again it's just locating the different individual switches. Some are hidden in peculiar places, like we've got the one here. There's another little rocker switch on this side here. Other lights have got individual switches actually on the lights also. The top ones here, and again the overhead units are just at the front on this right hand side. We've got individual light switches then on the other spotlights. At the front we have got a 230 volt socket, a 12 volt socket and a TV point there as well. We've got two 230 volt plug sockets. So at the side we've got two 230 volt sockets, we've got a 12 volt cigarette type lighter socket, TV aerial point that will run off the roof of the Caravan, and we've got a satellite point as well which will be connected to a point on the outside, so you can connect straight into site satellite basically. So we've now come into the Caravan, we've turned our master switch on. We've turned the gas bottle on the top of the gas bottle, we've connected our water to the outside. We're now going to start running individual items inside of the Caravan. We'll normally start with the gas system. Reason for this is that we can get the gas through the system quite quickly through the hob. This will just mean that if we are going to use the system on gas, the fridge will light up a little bit quicker, the boiler will light up a little bit quicker, so we'll just get that gas through the system a tad quicker than if we hadn't have done that. We will listen out for the 3 clicks on the safety valves as well, which you should hear those. 1, 2. I don't know whether that first click was 2 of them going. So we've then got the grill. Again, it's turn the gas knob to the higher flame, hit the igniter, and that'll light straight back up. We've then got the high and the low. Same with the oven. I'll normally turn this just to the highest setting, hold it in, hit the igniter. Again, the flame won't go up and down as we turn the control dial. It's thermostatically controlled, so once it gets up to temperature, it will then die down. So now when we come to light the fridge up, that will light up a little bit quicker than if we hadn't. So again, if we want to use it on the gas, we can turn the control dial first to the gas. We'll hold the gas dial in and we hit the igniter. And you can actually hear that roar up. Just at the side of the fridge, we've got a little indicator which the little red dial comes up into the green just to say that that's lit. Once I release the control knob, just make sure that stays up there and stays lit on the gas. We can then control the temperature of the fridge on the dial here. This control knob will control the temperature for the gas and the electric. So again, if we went onto a site now and we wanted just 230 volt electric, we'd just put it onto the plug sign there. If we're towing on the car and we're set up for the 13 pin electrics, if we pop it onto battery, that will just keep the fridge cool as you're travelling along with the car. It won't freeze it down like the electric or the gas will, so just remember that. We have got the electric ring as well on the oven, which is the far left dial. We've got a little light on here that just tells us that that's lit up. Again, just always make sure that you don't put the glass lid down when any of these are hot, and again, just look out for the little red dial just in case somebody comes along and knocks the temperature dial. So just make sure that these are always in the off position. The gas isn't so bad because the thermo cut out on there, the gas safety valve will shut off, and you won't get the gas coming through, but the electric, you could end up knocking that and then that being on. So just make sure everything's cool and that's not been left on. So onto the water system. Now before we put the water pump on, we want to make sure all of the taps are closed, that the little yellow dial on the actual boiler here is in the far position there. If we tip this up into the upright position, that will drain the water system, so we want to make sure that's flat down to the floor, horizontal, and that will keep the water system in the position to be used. We then again just make sure that all of your taps are off, so that when we put the pump on, we're not going to have water coming out of everywhere. Onto the control panel. In the bottom left here, we've got the water pump. It's a good tap just to turn that one on. That will then put the water pump into the on position. So now when we put our taps on, we've got the water pump into the on position. So as we demand water with the individual taps, the water will come through. Now we want to make sure that we bleed all of the taps through. If you've just filled the system up after the winter, or you're just filling the system up after the winter, the water isn't going to come through as it is now. It is going to be a bit of coughing and spluttering. So just allow on the cold setting first, which is over to the right, just get the water through the system, and then pop the hot water on, or the hot water side of the tap on. That will then fill up the boiler. Once we've got the water coming as we have now, we know that that water heater is full of water. We do want to drain or pull all the water through on the bathroom tap and on the shower, and that will just make sure that we've not got any air leaks or any locks anywhere in the system. So just pull all the water through on all of the taps. Even if you're not going to use the shower, get the water through there, and that will just stop any issues with the water system. Once we know that the water system is then full, we can then put the hot water on. So we've got the little symbol of the tap, so we'll put the tap that for the water heater. We've then got electric on 750, electric on 1500 watts, and we've got the gas. So for our electric, we'll tick the top one there. If we want to run it on the gas, we can run it on a time boost for 15 minutes on the gas system. We can also run the electric on at the same time as well, so that will work the water heater and just boost that water heater on gas and electric for 15 minutes. So if you come in and you want a shower, or you need to get the water hot a little bit quicker than usual, you can run both at the same time. If we don't want the hot water on, if we pop that into the off position, main button again takes us back to the main supply screen. We've then got the room heater, which again we can run on 500, 1000 or 2000 watts, and we can run on a high and a low gas setting. We've then got the fan, and then we've got our temperature settings. So if we want to run that on 500 watts, the fan will automatically kick in on 500 watts with the thermostat. If we wanted it on a higher setting, we can then just toggle through to the settings that we want. If you wanted to then run it on the gas, it's just a case of running on that one there, and then again we have got the option to run it on gas and electric if we needed to get the van a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner. If we wanted to run it just on an overnight frost setting, again we can just pop the frost setting on, and that would stop it freezing up. If we turn that off. If then you just wanted some cool air blowing around the caravan, we can just put the fan on, turn the frost back off, and just put the fan on, and that will then run just the fan, just blowing cool air around the caravan. It won't draw any cold air from outside, it will just recirculate the heat inside. So if you've got the windows open, that will just circulate the air through. Once I turn that off, the fan will still run for about 30 seconds. It's just going through its system, going through the process, just cooling the heater down before it turns itself off. And then again we can go back to the main screen. It tells us what we've got on. Another point on here is at the plug sign here, just always make sure that if you want to work on electric, that plug sign is on. If you haven't got that plug sign on, you've either got one of the trip switches tripped out, which I'll show the trip box in a minute, or the electric's tripped out on site and you've not got electric coming into the caravan. So just make sure that the little plug sign there is there, and that is telling you that the electric is plugged into the Caravan. The consumer unit and the trip unit is just at the front here. So we've got all of our trip switches. So we've got our charger, our water heater, the heater, and then all the sockets. We've got our main breaker, and we've got a test button here. So again, if you were on site and you didn't think there was any electric coming into the Caravan from the site, we can press the white button at the top there. That will just trip the electrics out, and that will let you know that there is actually electric coming into the Caravan. So that's a good little check, just to make sure that there is actually power from site coming into the Caravan. Just use that little white button. We've then got individual fuses at the bottom, and again they're all labels as to what they are. So, cassette toilet. At the front here we've got the bar to actually open and close the cassette trap. So again, when we come to remove the cassette from the outside, we need to make sure that that's fully over and closed. On the top we've got our flush button, so that will put the flush water through. And again, if we want to then open the trap up to let that through into the cassette, it's just open up as such. There is a little indicator on here that will light up once the cassette's getting full and needing emptying. Again, I'd advise that when you go to empty the wastewater aquarol or the wastewater tank, just empty the flush toilet at the same time if you have been using that, and it just allows it not to get too heavy and fill up too much. We have got a pull cord on the bathroom that puts our bathroom lights on, and again there is an individual switch on the bathroom there light as well.